Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? You're not going to believe this. It is currently 6:28 a.m. one Sunday morning, and this is Saturday night's vlog. It is currently 16 degrees outside, and I woke up about an hour ago, maybe about an hour and 10 minutes ago. I was like wide awake in bed. And we got Maggiano's last night, and I had some left over, so I went down the kitchen and I poured myself a huge glass of cold water, and I sat in the chair and I ate the rest of my pasta. And then I went back upstairs because I thought I'd be able to fall asleep right away, but I was like, I was still wide awake. And I talked to Tucker for a little bit and held him. Bradley was fast asleep. And I just kept on laying there. I was like, I cannot fall back asleep. We went to bed so early last night, you guys. And so I was like, well, I set my alarm. Actually, I have my alarm set right now for 10. I just randomly set it at like 10:23, I think I said. And I was like, well, I could get up now and go vlog, and then come back and go to sleep for a little bit, sleeping with my husband. Or I could get up at 10, go vlog then, come back, and then I would want to go back to bed for an hour or two, and then I'd be like super tired when I woke up for brunch. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go vlog right now. I'm awake. But like, honestly, I was standing there putting my boots on, and I was thinking to myself, like, I'm up. Like, I don't know that I'm going to be able to go back to bed. We were in bed last night by like 10:30 on a Saturday night, or Saturday nights are so exciting. On a Saturday night, we were in bed by like 10:30, 10:45. And Alex was watching TikTok videos and other stuff. And I like fell asleep, and then I like woke back up. We were kind of like talking and stuff, and then I fell asleep. And I said, oh, he turned on, we play like, what do you call it? Like rain sound, you know, like when we sleep. And I heard him like turn it on. And so I was like, are you going to bed already? And he was like, yeah. He was like, it's 11:30. He acted like it was so late. I was like, oh, okay. It's 11:30. So, So yeah, we went to bed. I was asleep long before that, though. So if I fell asleep by 11, 12, 1, what is that, 6.5 hours I slept, something like that, I guess it's not too surprising that I'm like up and rested. And then I took the dogs outside, and I started my car so it would be warm and toasty when I got in it. And then I made a cup of coffee too. And they were being so funny. They were like wanting to stay outside forever. And I was like, you guys, come on, it's cold. And then right at the very end, Boo started pooping. And he was just like looking at me like, I don't want to be out here. It's too cold. But, so anyway, I was like, come on, Boo. And he was just like looking at me. I felt so bad for him. So anyway, he finished his business, and then he came inside, and I got them back up in bed with their dad. And then I came out and I vlogged. Hi, here I am vlogging. How are you guys doing? Do you ever have those days that you think are going to go one way and then they go completely the other way? Yesterday, honestly, I wasn't even sure I was going to make videos because I was kind of just in this mood to just watch TV all day long. I'm like really into that show, La Brea. And so I just kind of wanted to binge watch that and watch maybe like an episode or two of Cheer. because I'm trying to slowly work my way through that. I really wish, oh, you know what? I have a bottle of water in the car. I was like, I wish I had some water. And I had actually bought this bottle of water a while ago, and I've left it in the car in case I needed it. Like, just in case I needed something to drink, you know, to take some Aleve or something for my headaches, my migraines. And I think it's like under my seat in the back. I'm gonna have to pull over and get out and get it, because I'm thirsty for water. I have this coffee and it's good, but I want some water too. I'm always really, really thirsty for like cold water when I get up. But anyway, that had been my plan. And then I woke up. Alex and I both slept in today a lot. He just kind of slept all day long. He was like, I'm super tired. He kept on saying, he was like, I'm super tired and I don't even know why. It's because he sits there on his phone until, like, he'll say he's going to go to bed, and then he sits there and looks at TikToks for like an hour, and I'm like, or two even sometimes, and I'm like, babe, you're going to be so tired in the morning. And he's like, I know. He was like, but I just want to look at these TikToks. He loves TikTok so much. Let me get this water. Hold on just a second. Oh, yes. I knew I had this bottle down here. I haven't even opened it. It's a bottle of Smart Water. I thought I had seen that back there. So anyway, but I think he got some rest today, so that's good. Like, I don't want to open this and have it go everywhere. Okay, there. That tastes so good. It's ice cold. Oh, that tastes so good. So, since Alex was kind of like sleeping most of the day, he would like sleep and then like watch a show, and then like sleep and like watch a show. He works so much the week that when he gets like on the weekends, it's nice for him to, you know, just be able to relax and stuff. So I was glad that he got to do that today. But I was like, I'm gonna go film some videos. So I went to Target. I had this Target gift card that Alex had given me for my birthday, and he gave me like a $300 gift card. It was really nice. But the stipulation, which I keep on saying in all my videos, the stipulation was that I had to, stipulation rule was that I had to use it all on just like fun stuff for myself. It couldn't be like stuff that I like, you know, needed. It couldn't be like toilet paper and stuff like that. It had to be stuff that like I wanted just to like buy and try. But I did need to get deodorant. So I was like, I'm gonna go to Target and I am going to do this haul while I'm there, just buy a bunch of stuff. And so I bought all kinds of stuff, mostly like soaps and face scrubs and shampoo and stuff like that. And I was like going up to the register and I thought, I'm gonna have to like put $100 on this. Like, I honestly thought it was gonna come to like, well, I had 100, I called before to check the balance on it. I was trying to do it online, but I couldn't figure it out. It kept on saying that it didn't like match or something. I don't know. So anyway, I called and saw that my balance, or checked out my balance, and it was $119. So when I was going up to the register, it was like my basket was so full. I was like, this is gonna be like $200. I almost started putting stuff back. And then when I checked out, it came to, like, at first it was like 110. So Tanya always asks me for gum when she's in my car. So I just started buying these like containers of gum that I can just like throw in here so that when Tanya and other people want gum in my car, Two things I try to keep in my car, and I know this is going to sound totally corny, is I keep one of those like scent bird things in my car, or two of cologne or perfume, and then I also keep gum. I'm like an Uber driver, because I do drive so many people around, like when we go to meetings and stuff. Tony and I almost went to a meeting tonight, but we both decided that it was too cold. We were like going to try a new meeting tonight. We were like, let's just pick a meeting, something different, and go to it tonight. We almost did that, but we both decided that it was too cold. So, but I keep that in my car, and I keep gum in my car, or in my bag. I always have gum in my bag. I'm kind of like really weird about always smelling good. And then I always keep a little thing of cologne too. In my bag right now, I have a sample. If I can find it. It's a sample. I had that bottle of Creed, but of course I took that inside. I'm not gonna just, because I don't wear that every day. I have this little, here it is. It's like this little bottle of Creed, and it is, I think it's called Green Tweed or something like that. I don't love it, but it's like, oh, I just spilled it everywhere. I don't love it, but look, it's like all over my hand. Can you see? But it does smell good. It's just not my favorite of all the Creeds. I mean, Aventus is hands down my favorite, but I hope I closed that bottle before putting it back into my bag. I did. It's so funny because, like, well, I don't know if you can just go up to the Creed counter and they'll give you a sample, because people literally sell their samples online for like $50. But that's really strong. But you can, like, if you buy Creed and you want to try a different one, they'll give you a sample of something else. And so when I bought my last bottle, she was like, let me give you a sample of this. And then the time before, there was like a new kind of Creed Aventus. It was like their streetwear one. I didn't love it either, but I mean, it still smells like Creed Aventus. And so I have both of those samples. And they last forever, because you don't need to put on a lot. I honestly, talking about putting a lot on, it's like really strong. I mean, it's a really strong cologne. But anyway, I bought these two things of gum for Tanya Jean. Well, I actually bought 3 of them. And I just bought gum at home too, but I bought these just to have for Tanya Jane and in the car. And or anybody else that's in my car, you know. And so, like, before we go into meetings and stuff, I'm always like, does anybody want a piece of gum? Because I always drive, you know, a bunch of us. But so the third container of gum took me to like $20.51. So then I had to take one of them off. This woman helped me. She was so nice that worked in the store. And she was so funny too, because I was like, oh, look at you figuring it all out. You're so smart. She was like, I'm not smart. She's like, this is my job. And she's like, don't tell anybody, because then I'll have to help them too, or something like that. She was so funny. She's like, it's just my job. I'm not smart. She said, you'll be smart too the next time you do it. So I keep on cleaning off when I get gas, my back window, and it just stays so dirty. It's like, I got my car washed, and it's like the next day it was dirty. It's like pointless to get your car cleaned during the winter in Indiana, in the Midwest. Speaking of gas, I have like been going through a lot. I mean, I go through a lot of gas from vlogging and stuff anyway. People always ask me, they're like, how much money do you spend on gas? A lot, because like I vlog every single day, but I love it. So I mean, I'm not gonna stop. But I've been it feels like I've been going through more gas than usual lately. I was like, I feel like I'm like down to a quarter tank of gas, and I feel like I just filled my gas tank like 2 days ago. I remember when I filled it because I went to the Speedway and filled it. Recently, this is gonna sound so corny. Do you guys ever have problems with the pumps? Like if you you know, like when you put the lock on the pump so that it'll just like keep on pumping if you walk away from it. But then it like 2 seconds later it stops, and so you just have to stand there and hold it. Well, it's real fun in the freezing cold to hold the gas pump, okay? I know, it seems like big problems in the world, right? But for, what do they call them? First world problems or whatever. But like, it's cold to stand out there. The one place that doesn't do that is Speedway. I don't know why, but like Speedway's pumps always just like you can lock them and they work. So I went to Speedway, but I don't know what night that was that I would have gone to Speedway. It was that night, I do remember that. And I remember I said something to Alex about... See, like, if it was the night that I went to Puccini's, what was that, Thursday night? Then that means that Thursday night, Friday night, and I didn't even hardly drive that much today. In 2.5 days, I went through 3/4. I mean, it means I'm driving 1/4 of a tank of gas a day. Like, that is crazy. I probably am. Sweaters taste so good. So I went to Target and I did that, and then I had brought this cereal and this popcorn with me to do this review in the parking lot. Do you remember last night how I told you guys I did the Peterisms video? And that I was going to post it today. Well, I went through my computer today and I deleted like all of the... Like once I've uploaded videos, I delete them. So I went through and I deleted everything off my computer. I don't know why. And so I deleted the Peterisms video. Like as soon as I did it, I knew I did it. So then I filmed this review video, and I got home and I like put the memory card into the computer. It's like this external drive that you put it in, and if you have a Mac, you'll know what I'm talking about. So like I put it in and it was uploading, but at the same time, like I had filmed the video footage of like going around Target on my phone. So I was uploading, like I was sending that from my phone to the computer. And so I thought they were done at the same time, so I pulled out the memory card, but I pulled out the memory card too soon. So the review video, which I had done later, didn't upload, but everything else uploaded. So when I was done, I was like, okay, as soon as this is done rendering, I'm going to upload the review video. But then I put my memory card in my camera and I deleted it and I filmed over it doing a drama video. It was like, and you know what was so funny was that like on a good day, that would really frustrate me, you know, back in the day, but not now as much really, but back in the day, I would have been like, oh my God, you know, whatever. I like literally didn't even like, I was like, oh wow, I guess I don't have a review video on Peterism. I mean, I didn't even like really get upset about it at all. In fact, I kind of like posted this joking picture on Twitter and I said that I had deleted the review video and the Peterisms video. But then I decided, because I, like Alex, he came downstairs and got a glass of water and he was like, I'm so tired, I'm so lethargic today. And I said, are you going back to bed? And he was like, yeah, for a little bit. And I was like, are you hungry? And he was like, yeah, I'm starting to get hungry. And I said, okay. I said, well, if you're going to rest for a little bit longer. Did I do a Peterisms video? Did I film a Peterisms video today and another one and I didn't? No. Did I? Like, this is the second day in a row that I filmed a Peterisms video and I didn't post it on my channel. I don't know if I did or not. I feel like I read some meditations today. No, Alex came because he was like, are you done filming? And I said, yeah. And I turned everything off. And that was after so I did do the review video again. I filmed the video just sitting there in my chair. I actually had a really fun time doing it. Because it was so funny that I had to do it again. What does that mean? American-made buns. Jimmy John's. That's on their sign out there. So anyway, did that. Look at people are at Starbucks already. when I was like driving out of my neighborhood this morning, there was this like woman with this pit bull, and the pit bull was just like looking, like it was like on the side of the street and was just like looking right at me as I drove by, like just barking like crazy at me. She walks them all the time. They're real sweet, but I was like, why is that dog barking at me so early in the morning, my lord? So anyway, what was I gonna say? I don't remember now. Oh, so then I asked Alex what he wanted to eat, and he said Maggiano's. So I ordered us Maggiano's, and then I went, that cologne is so strong. I went and I called a couple friends, and then I went and picked up the Maggiano's, and then I came home, and we watched RuPaul's Drag Race. And then I got really, really tired after, this no turn on red right here, like, and this light is so long. But like after I've been eating at night, I've been having like a cup of tea. I probably should be having like green tea or peppermint tea, but I've been having this lemon zinger tea that I love, that I make on the Keurig, and I put honey in it. And so I make that, but then it makes me kind of sleepy, especially after I've eaten. So yeah, after I got done eating tonight, we were sitting there watching RuPaul's Drag Race. Usually the show seems like it's really long. Tonight it seemed kind of like it was short. And when we were done with it, I said, he was just like laying there looking at TikToks on the phone, and I was like, baby, you want to watch something else? He was like, I don't care, what do you want to watch? We're caught up on all of our TV shows that we watch together. And I was like, I don't care. And I said, actually, if you're not wanting to watch anything, I said, I think I'm going to go lay down for a little bit. And that was at like 10:30. That was when I first went up to bed. And then he took the dogs out, I think, and he came upstairs like 5 minutes later. We just kind of laid there and we're joking with each other and stuff. I told him, I said, you know what my favorite thing is? And he said, what? And I said, laying in bed with you and the dogs. And he said, that's my favorite thing too. I said, it is? And he said, yeah. It does. It makes me so happy though. So that was my day. When I actually thought I was just going to sit there and just like binge watch TV shows. I keep on saying I'm just going to have a day where I binge watch TV shows, and then I never do it. I want to do it so bad, but like I just feel like it's just a waste of a day. Well, and the other thing is, like, you know, I mean, we're getting ready to go to Miami, which I don't even think it's going to be that warm while we're down there, so I don't know what we're going to do every day, so I might as well just binge watch TV while I'm down there. And no, we'll do something. It'll be fun. You know, go over to Ocean Drive and walk around, and we'll have a good time. It'll be fun. I mean, really, it's just going to be really nice to spend a couple days with my husband, you know, uninterrupted. So that'll be fun. And yeah, I wish they would have a heat blast while we were down there and it was like 85. I looked at the weather today and it said it's going to be like mid-70s while we're there, which is still nicer than, what is it right now? Oh, it's 15 degrees now, dropped a degree. Oh, my other goal was that I wanted to finish Slouching Towards Bethlehem today, and I did not finish it. I'm close though. I have like 48 minutes left, because it's like 2 hours and I'm listening to it. I was listening to it at 2 times speed, but I'm now listening to it at 2 times 5 speed because I've been listening to it so long that now it's starting to sound slow to me. It's really interesting. She did this whole essay on, like, it's called like Thoughts on Keeping a Notebook. First of all, if you've never read any of Joan Didion's writing, if you've never read any of Joan Didion's writing, it's really hard to explain kind of how she writes. I mean, it's easy just to say she writes beautifully, right? Like, so that's easy, but it's more than that. It's vulnerable and raw, but kind of like a mirror in your face a little bit. As she's sharing things about her observations about life, or it brings up things in your own perception of the world that are troublesome or interesting on how you view the world. You know, it's like she's talking about this journal, keeping a notebook. She's basically talking about how she's kept a notebook all these years, right? And that when she reads back on them, she doesn't really know if what she wrote at the time was true. And she gives specific examples. So it's written like prose. It's like, that's the beautiful part of it, right? I mean, it's written like prose, where she'll say like 5:13 p.m. Tuesday, 5:13 p.m. Man in gray suit steps off the Lexington Avenue train. Do I know him? Did I ever know him? He has a gray suit on and he wears a pocket watch. I'm unsure of what his name is, but I know him only as my father. It's like, it's stuff like that. It's like, and I'm making that up, but I mean, it's beautiful, you know? And then she's like, but is it really my father, or is it a man that I wished was my father? Perception is everything. And she goes into this whole thing about perception, which I love conversations about perception, because I do think that perception is like 90%, you know? I mean, have you ever had a situation where you're having a conversation with your friend about something that happened, and like this is happening to Tanya and I more and more as we get older, like where Tanya will be like we were talking about a friend the other day, and she was like, how did you know her? And I said, or she said, I didn't know that you knew her. And I said, she used to come, this was her home group meeting. No, it wasn't. I go, yeah, it was. I said, we just talked about it. She goes, did you? And I said, yeah. She goes, oh, I guess I never knew that. You know, and so it's perception's interesting, because you can like really believe something, right? Like really know it to be true. And then, like in your mind, you believe that it happened a certain way, when in fact there's no truth to that at all. And so she does this whole thing where she's talking about snow in August, and she was like, I wrote down that it snowed in August or something, and she's like, did it ever snow in August? Was that even a possibility? Did I imagine it? Was it my perception? And so it's interesting, like, you know, when I don't know, it's like I said, Tanya and I, that's like more and more, like she'll say something and I'll say, she'll bring up a memory and I'll say, was that how it happened? And she'll say, yeah. And I'll say, well, I don't remember so-and-so being there. And she'll say, Peter, he was sitting right next to you. And I'll be like, on your back patio? And she'll say, yeah. And I'll say, oh my gosh. You know, and I don't think it's just, and I'm not talking about forgetting certain specific pieces of it. I'm talking about truly perception of how you remember an observation. And then I think the other thing that's interesting is, like, as I've gotten older, I've wondered how many of my memories are actual memories, or how many of them are things that I have seen based on pictures or memories that I have made up based on pictures that I've seen, or somebody else telling a story. You know, it's like, have you ever had a family member tell a story so much that you feel like you were there when you weren't there, or you were too young to remember, you know? Perception is so interesting, especially when you're married. And if you're married or in a committed or a long-term relationship, you'll know what I'm talking about. When your partner swears that something happened a way that you know it didn't, that's called perception. And what you learn over time is just to let it go, because it just is not that important who is right. Especially when you realize that you're only right about 50% of the time, if even that. So, yeah, her book is really interesting. And it makes you think about things like that. It makes you think about marriage and friendships and relationships with other people. And it makes you think about your place in the world, and loneliness and gratitude, and how you affect the world around you, and do you affect the world around you. And I I don't know, it's fantastically written. Talks a lot about hippie culture and the Haight-Ashbury, and that's really what the short story Slouching Towards Bethlehem is about. I feel like I kind of almost feel like I've stopped. I feel like I've almost read it before, or maybe it's in the documentary or something, I don't know. Or maybe I read another book that was like talking about this. And maybe it's because I take such issue with it that I remember this, but there's a scene. So she becomes friends with these hippies in what do you call it? Oh shoot. Did you know Joan Baez went to Palo Alto High School? I don't know why that's so interesting to me. I've always wanted to see that movie. I think Emma Roberts is in it, and it's called Palo Alto. Have you guys seen the trailer for that? I've always wanted to see that movie. But anyway, I don't know why. Just when I first saw the trailer, it looked good. Also, does anybody know what that movie is? Because I think I want to watch this when I'm in Florida. I wanted to see it a while ago, and I never like downloaded it or anything to watch. Do you guys know the movie that is about the couple that meets in like a hotel in Palm Springs, and they keep on reliving the same day over and over and over again? Do you guys know what movie I'm talking about? Like, the cover is like the hotel pool. It's like the hotel, but like the pool like behind and the pool in front, and like he's in like a raft or something. Do you guys know? Or he's like on a raft or something. Do you guys know what movie I'm talking about? I really want to see that movie. There's so funny. This is at Elon Furs. It's this store up here that's like this fur coat store. And I'm like, it is 2022. Do people still wear fur coats? Like, I don't know why that is just so baffling to me. But I can't even think of the last time that I saw somebody like... I mean, the two businesses that at one time were so thriving, well, obviously, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why people don't buy fur coats as much anymore. But... the two businesses that were like thriving in the 80s that are just dead today, there it is right there, Lawn Furs, are fur coats and waterbeds. Do you remember? I had a waterbed. I had a full wave waterbed at my dad's house when I was in high school. I had to have it. I don't even know how I slept on that thing. I really hated it most nights. So, I loved the soundtrack to Edward Scissorhands, and so I would, at my dad's house, I had those glow-in-the-dark stars. I had them all over my ceiling. Do you guys know what I'm talking about, where you can make like constellations and stuff? I didn't make constellations. I just put them on the ceiling, just in random order. But I would go to sleep on that waterbed, which was like this. And half the time I would be so intoxicated in my room, and I can remember just laying and looking at those stars with that dreamy, I think it's that Danny Elfman music, I think he's the one that did it. Danny Elfman composed the music for Edward Scissorhands, and I would just sit there and listen to it and float on my bed. God. Oh. It's so funny that I had to have a waterbed. I like hid stuff in the waterbed too. Like I hid alcohol. They were like in these little, I don't know if you guys remember these or not. They were called New York seltzers. Do you guys remember those? And I was like obsessed with them. And they came in like root beer and cream soda and stuff, and the root beer were my favorite. And they came in these like little bottles. They looked like little, like, do you guys remember, what's the, like if you, like scotch and soda, but it was like, soda water, you know, and like it would come in those little bottles of soda water. Do you remember that? Like club soda. That's what I was looking for club soda. But these were like soda, like, these were like, not club soda. This was just like soda. Seltzers though. Non-alcoholic. And I used to love them when I was a kid. And So my dad would get them. Well, I would drink them or I would empty them. And then when I was in the kitchen, I would just stand there and whatever clear liquor they had in the liquor cabinet, I would just fill up. So like gin, vodka, stuff like that. And then I would hide them. And I used to call it the four corners of the world. And I would hide them in the four corners of my waterbed. And I hid all kinds of stuff down there. Packs of cigarettes and all kinds of stuff. And when my dad finally got like rid of the waterbed and emptied, I think did they finally like break it down and get rid of it? I think they did. The sun is coming up over the distance. Do you guys want to see it? It's kind of pretty, isn't it? Look at that. It always reminds me of going to the airport because we're always like flying out at this time of night. But anyway, it probably looks like super bright to you guys, but it's not yet. It's still really dark. Oh, look, it went out of focus. I should have known that was going to happen. It always does that when I'm trying to show something. I like to see these other people that have these videos on YouTube, and their videos are like crystal clear. And I'm like, we have the same camera. Like most of them I've talked, like not all of them, but some of them I've talked to. And I'll be like, what camera do you have? And they're like, the Canon G7X Mark II. And I'm like, that's the same camera that I have. Why does your videos look so crystal clear? And they're like, I don't know. I'm like, why does my camera look... I mean, in a car vlogging, I understand it, but like sitting in a chair, why do my videos look so completely amateurish? I do probably need to invest in a little bit more, but like my camera, this was a $600, $700 camera. It was a nice camera, you know. I have had it though for 2 years. You think about this, film 5 to 6 videos a day, one of the videos being, you know, an hour long every single day. And I have really, like, this camera I've dropped it on multiple occasions. And I mean, there's like plastic broken off the side and stuff. I really do. It's like a real vlogger's camera, you know what I mean? Like it's seen some wear and tear. But I really probably need to start looking for not a new vlogging camera, but maybe a new camera for my house, or for like at home when I'm filming. I know a lot of YouTubers though, honestly, that like they put out one video like a month or something, and you know, I mean, whatever, that's their choice, but or they don't put out that many videos, and they like before they even start, they like buy this huge deal. They'll buy like a $2,000-$3,000, you know, Canon or Sony camera, this huge microphone and all this like green lights and everything. I'm like, oh, wait a second, what are you doing here? Like, you know, listen, okay, this isn't, you didn't just start a movie studio today. You know what I mean? Like, I can remember back in the day when I watched that. What was that show called? I don't watch it anymore. I still like them as a family, but I don't watch it anymore. What's the couple that live in Tennessee? I think they live in Nashville now. They have a son and a daughter. Well, they have a couple of sons and daughters, but like 2 of them don't talk to them anymore. They're real rich. Knows it all. What's that show called? Anyway, his mom's name is Faye. His name's like Tim or Ted or something. Why can't I think of that name? Anyway, Chrisley knows it all. But their youngest son wanted to start a YouTube gaming channel, and he told his dad he needed like all this stuff, and he was like, I can remember watching it, and I had been like doing YouTube for like probably 2 or 3 years at the time, and he was like, well, how much is it going to cost? And it was like $5,000 or something for all this equipment that he needed. And his dad was like, okay, well, how are you going to earn the money for it? I was like, $5,000? What do you need $500? $500? Do you remember that from Roseanne? When he got the bonus check of $5,000. I love that episode. It's one of my favorites. But I'm like, what $5,000 equipment do you need for a gaming channel? You know, I don't understand all that. So anyway, I'm gonna go to the post office and check and see if I have packages, because I've had a couple people reach out to me that their packages were sent here over the holidays, and that then they sent them back. And so let me tell you what happened. If I go to the post office and like, they either put a key in the box. I should actually just go in and show you guys how it works. They either put a key in my box, and then the key goes to a box that you unlock, and then it, what do you call it? To get, I don't know if I can actually film in here because it's like a public office or like a government building, you know? I don't know if that I can do that. But, so you either get like a key and then it takes you to this box. And I think I can. I've actually seen other YouTubers film. So I'm just going to run in there though. But anyway, they either give you a key and then the key takes you to a box. And then the box, when you open it, has like another thing in there. Because it's like, you know, my P.O. box is only like that big and like, you know, whatever. And then if not, then I get a yellow card, and then on the back of it, it has my P.O. box written, right? And then you take the yellow card to the desk when they're open, and then they will go get your box. Okay, there was one time over the holidays, because I went and checked like every couple days over the holidays, and there was one time that I had 3 yellow cards, and I took it up to the desk, and the woman brought back like 1 or 2 boxes, and I said I had 3 cards, and she said the 3 cards are all for the same thing. And she was somebody that had never helped me before, because it's usually the same 2 women that help me, and the one woman knows me really well, and so she's always like, you got a bunch of packages back there. So this woman, she said I didn't have any other packages back there. But then I came like the next day, and I came the next day, and they said I didn't have any packages. So I was like, well, I guess I don't have any packages. So I don't know what happened. I feel horrible though that people were nice enough to send me something, and then it didn't get to me. You know what I mean? It makes me feel really, really bad. So I got my key. I'm actually, I am gonna take you in here and I'll just show you how it all goes down, right? So anyway, I mean, it's a vlog and you guys have never seen this before. Trisha Paytas, Will and RJ, a couple other people, I've seen them. Do I have my keys? They've gone into the post office before and shown how this all works. So here, I'll show you. I don't see anything that says I can't do this. Okay. So here we go. Back here, this is what it looks like. Here's all the boxes. See if you get a key. This is what the key looks like. Here's mine. I have 1 card, okay? 1 card. So I know that on the Vloggerino thing, it said, hold on, let me turn this around. I know that somebody posted that there's 2 packages here for me. This is showing me, oh, actually it says 2 packages on the back. Okay, so there's 2 packages waiting for me. So there you go. I'm gonna go pick them up on Monday. I'm so excited. Your packages are here, so I'm very excited about that. Okay, so that's how it works. But I'm kind of at the mercy of the post office, and honestly, like, there's been several times before. Oh, you guys, look how pretty it is outside. Look at that. It's a beautiful morning, isn't it? But honestly, I have, oh, that cologne is so strong. I've gone up there before, even to the woman that is so nice, that helps me and stuff, and I'll be like, I know I have more packages than that, because somebody, you know, like, contacted me and said, yada yada yada, like, I sent you a package, because some people will email me and be like, I sent you a package on this date, look out for it, right? Or people have sent me tracking numbers and stuff before. I have actually shown them tracking numbers that people have sent me because I then didn't get the package, and they'll be like, oh, it's, I don't know, I can't find it. And I'm like, you have the tracking number, what do you mean you can't find it? And they'll say, well, it's en route. And I'll say, no, the person contacted me and told me that it's already been delivered. And they'll be like, oh. And so then they'll go back and they're back there looking for it for like 20 minutes or whatever, and then they'll come back and they'll say, we can't find it anywhere. And then what happens is 2 days later, like I'll come back and then I'll have something else that I have to pick up, and they'll go back there and they'll go, oh, we found this one too. And I'm like, oh, that was the one that I was coming for the other day. So what I really think happened was that the day that, because I said to the girl the other day, the woman in here the other day, I said when I came to pick up I had another package to pick up. And when I came, I said to the woman, I said, where did that one girl go? The younger girl that worked here, or something like, I can't remember how I said it. And she was like, oh, she doesn't work here anymore. Well, I think she just didn't want to look around for the packages is honestly what happened. And I mean, I'm not trying to dog anybody, but I really think that that's what happened. And then they were sitting back there, and I think because I can see how they do it, like how they keep them at the post office. Because when they go, if they're right behind, they go behind, and then you can see that they have this big area where it's like stacked up, and then they like try to keep mine all together. I think she just didn't look past that area, because this one woman that is so nice that works in here, she usually does passports, but whenever she sees me come in, she's always like, here, I'll go get your packages for you. She's so nice. She like looks all over, like she's back there for a while. So what I think happened was that they were just like in some space that she didn't look, and then I think they finally just sent the packages back because they had been sitting there for a while or something. I don't know. Or maybe they got put in an area that, now my hands are kind of stinging from that cologne, you guys. I don't know, but I feel bad about the packages not getting to me. So if you ever send me something and I don't show it or whatever, the only thing that I don't show that I get on a pretty regular basis is books. Because a lot of people will send me books. Like if it comes from like a publisher and it's like a PR package or something like that, or if it's like an ARC that I asked for, or an ARC that they asked me if I wanted, then I'll usually show that on my Instagram story, which I haven't gotten any of those in a while, or something like that. But if it's just people send me random books and they don't include, like if they include a note in it and they're like, Peter, I watched your channels and I wrote a book, and if you would, be willing to review it, or they include any kind of note, it's so hot in here, any kind of note whatsoever that lets me know that they know who I am, other than just here are my books. Like I think if you write a book, here's a thought, and you're gonna send the book to somebody, include a note to say, like, hey, like, I don't know you, but could you read my book? Or, hey, I'm just sending you my book because because I don't know why you're sending my book. And half the time, they're books that I would never read in a million years. I mean, anybody that watches my channel would have to know at this point what kind of books that maybe I might be interested in. So I'm probably not interested in a book that takes place if King Arthur, had 15 wives and it was the year 4032 on the planet X964 and Garfield was president. I'm not like interested in those kind of books. I think people know that by now. So I get a lot of those books, and I'm like, I'm not really sure why you're sending me this book when I'm probably not going to be interested in it. And this is the thing. If you had emailed me first and said, if I sent you this book, would you be willing to review it? What I would say is, I'm not interested in that kind of topic or that kind of genre, but let me give you names of 5 booktubers or book, Instagrammers that I think would be interested in that. Because there are a lot of people that are interested in, world building and science fiction and all that kind of stuff. I'm just not that person. But there are a lot of, and that is one thing that when people reach out to me and they're like, would you be willing to review my book? Like if it's something that I'm not interested in reviewing because I just honestly wouldn't read it, because I'm not going to commit to saying like, oh yeah, I'm going to read, a 600-page book that I have no interest in for a review. I'm not going to do that. And it's not fair to the writer as well, because I wouldn't be giving it an authentic review because I don't read that kind of book, So, but what I do try to do is always find 4 or 5 people that I do know that would read it, and I give them their direct emails so that they can contact them directly. Sometimes I even reach out to that person and I'll say, hey, like, this person contacted me, would you be willing to review their book? And they're like, oh yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I try to make the connection. I think that's, you know, nice and fair. But I get a lot of people that send me, like, I'll be like open, and it's not like an Amazon gift. It's like, I've gotten books that are Amazon gifts, you know, I appreciate that, it's nice. It's not like that, it's just like, they just send me their book. But with no note or anything in it, you know, just like, I mean, even just like scribble on a note, like, hey, I'm really excited to, somebody recently did this, they sent me their book and they like wrote a really a nice note, but it's like, you know, like, just write, you know, you can even write it on just a note card, you know, like, hey, just hope you enjoy my book or whatever. I mean, I don't know. Just a thought to people out there. You know, as somebody that gets sent a lot of stuff by companies, and like Alex gets a lot of stuff sent to him, he gets 10 times more stuff than I do. Companies are really big into what they call micro-influencers, and even though my husband doesn't consider himself a micro-influencer, you know, he does do like a lot of those things. He gets reached out to by companies all the time, or they'll send him stuff, like good companies. Getting, like, he's been working with Timex for a while, and what's interesting is that, like, when it really does make the difference, honestly. Like, when somebody reaches out to you and they include just like a little card, like Crumble. Whenever they send me stuff, they always send me like a little card, and they'll say, oh, we love watching your videos, and that's it. That's all you have to put. Or, hey, we hope you enjoy this stuff, or whatever, you know. I had one company back in the day, this is so funny. If you're gay, you'll probably know who I'm talking about. If you're not, you might, I don't know. But there's a porn site called Sean Cody, and I actually have 2 different porn companies that have reached out to me, and one has asked me to be an actor on their videos. True story, you guys. And Sean Cody reached out to me. It's very like amateur porn kind of is supposed to be, but they reached out to me and they were like, we love your videos, can we send you a bunch of swag, right? And I was like, I think I showed this in a video. I know I did show this in a video, because they sent me like a fan and a t-shirt and all this kind of stuff. They sent me a bunch of stuff, and I was like, yeah, sure. So they sent it to me, and they included this note card. You know, it was like a postcard, and on one side it had their logo and said Sean Cody, and on the other side, all they put was expose us, XO, we love you, and Sean Cody team. And I was like, this is so cute, right? Like, oh my God, speaking of that, look at all these people at church. They are up so early. Who goes to a 7:30 service? My Lord, I could never. I'm a bad Christian, I guess. Anyway, so, like, if you, like, own a business, like, I just feel like it makes such a difference when people send me, you know, candles or whatever. You know, the other thing is, I get a lot of people that reach out to me and they're like, can I send you something? I'm like, sure, send me something. I mean, you don't have to ask to send somebody something. And I also wouldn't overload somebody with stuff. Like, don't send like 15 items. I'd send like your favorite 1 or 2. Like, if you own a candle shop, like a lot of people ask me this for like Etsy. Like, if you own like an Etsy shop, to send somebody like, maybe you make like soaps and candles, right? To send like 1 soap and 1 candle in a little box and make it look nice and include a card and just say, hey, I really enjoy your videos or whatever. Like, I hope you enjoy this gift from me, and include a card. You don't even have to say, can you give me a shout out or whatever, right? Because like a card, I think, indicates like, hey, if you like it, you know, say something about it. And then it doesn't seem like there's any pressure or whatever. I think that is better than sending like a sample of everything that you have, you know? Just some suggestions as somebody that, you know, gets stuff on the other end. And, like, I've had t-shirt companies that will reach out to me. And who did this? Well, actually, Dirt Squirrel, who I get my fans from. I love Dirt Squirrel. They'll be like, can we send you some new fans and you can talk about them in your video? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And so they'll send me like 10 fans, right? I mean, they send me a lot of fans. They're really nice. But then they'll say, and I'll talk about it in a couple videos or whatever. I had a code with them at one point. I think I still do. But I'll say, but what they'll say is, if you get on our website and there's anything else that you want, just let us know. I'm like, well, that's nice. I haven't done it, but so that's cool. Like, I've had a couple people reach out to me, like they've sent me t-shirts from their like Etsy stores or companies or whatever. This hasn't happened a lot. I don't get sent that many t-shirts. I would love to, but I don't. And they'll send me like 2 t-shirts, and they'll say, if you go to my website and you see anything else that you would like, you know, I'd be more than willing to send it to you. But I also, like, I've had a couple people ask me, like, they'll contact me and they'll be like, if it's something like I really like, and somebody will say, like, I don't have any money for a sponsorship, you know, I'm like, I don't have a problem shouting it out if it's something that I really like, you know. And they'll be like, can I send you some products, but I don't have money to sponsor it in a video? I'm like, if I like your product, I'll talk about it in a video. I'll show it if I think it's, you know, worth it or whatever, you know. So, like, I mean, that you don't have to pay me for that. And other people have been like, and the other thing is, if you just like send me, if you know that I like something, there's something that I'm like interested in, like if you say like, oh, my sister wrote a cozy mystery, you should check it out. Like, you don't have to send me the book. I can buy a cozy mystery. I can buy candles, you know. I mean, I don't have to like have people send me that stuff. Like, but if you just want to email me and let me know that you have this business, I will definitely check it out. Somebody actually in the live stream the other day, they said, can you go check out my Instagram? And they were like a food and cake business. And I went and looked, and I was so impressed. I was like, oh my God, I was like, I need to order some of this stuff, and I need to review it on my channel. Because it was like really cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't have all the answers as far as like sending out that stuff. I just think, like, number one, I think people think they have to send like a big package, like especially for people that have started Etsy stores, right? Like, you don't have to do that. Like, if you had a jewelry shop and you just like, let's say if you made like 50 string bracelets that had 1 bead on it, and then you just like attach like a paper like note card to it that said like, come check out my Etsy store and see like the real, you know, like the full whatever, and then you have fully beaded stuff over there. Like, I think that would be a cool concept. You know, you don't, and just send it in an envelope, you know. If I opened that, I would be real intrigued. You know, I think it's about getting people's eyes on whatever it is that you do. I think also, like, I don't get sent as much stuff as some people do, obviously. You know, like beauty influencers and stuff. When you get sent a lot of stuff and you have huge, large boxes sitting around, it becomes a lot. So the small little box of maybe just 1 candle, or well, you know, Matt, who makes the candles and sent me the candles for Christmas. I never pronounce his candle company right. Modev Candles, I think. I remember he sent me in a box 1 rose candle, and I loved that candle. It's been burned down. We've had it in our bathroom forever, in the corner of our bathroom. And so when people would come over and stuff, which wasn't very often, but like, you know, Sarah and people, we would light that candle, and it smelled up the whole entryway and everywhere so nicely. But the way that he like sent it in just like this nice little box, you know, was so like, I don't know, it was like a gift. It was just really well done, and I was always really impressed with that. So and I think he put like 1 card in there or something, and like a sticker or something. I don't know. Like maybe like 1 card. I don't know how he did it, but it wasn't like over, you know, it was like just enough. It was like perfect. I am not somebody that likes rose candles, but I have to tell you, if he still has that candle on his website and you like rose candles, you guys should really go check it out, because that is like the only rose candle that I've ever liked, and it was like so subtle, but it was like fantastic. It was really pretty glass too. I don't like the smell of roses because I can remember going to the funeral home when my grandma passed away, and the whole funeral home smelled like funeral. It smelled like roses. It stopped. I didn't even know it was at the end. Then my mom brought me, I was talking about my grandma's funeral and why I don't like roses. Then my mom brought, I said me, I didn't mean me. My mom brought home all of these, not tons, but three or four or five. I think they were like dried flower arrangements. You guys, I love to look out here in this field and see if I spot any deer. Just like way out there, because this is like the field that goes up against Connor Prairie. Can you see? It's so pretty. I don't see any deer out there today. But anyway, my mom brought all these flower arrangements home, like not plants and stuff. They were like dried flower arrangements, and she put them in this closet right off of our kitchen. It was actually like her liquor closet where she kept bottles of. We didn't have like a liquor. She didn't have like a liquor cabinet. She had like a liquor bottle that sat in there with like club soda and stuff. But anyway, I don't know why. That closet was so random that we had right there, and it was right next to the office. I actually have dreams about that office sometimes. Isn't that weird? That I'm like in there and I'm cleaning out that office. You know what I bet it is? It's because that desk from that office is in the basement. I bet that's why. And that dream is actually about cleaning out the basement, which I need to do. The sun is truly coming up, you guys. It's not as bright as it looks in the camera. I don't know why it always looks bright in the camera. Does it look, yeah, it looks like bright all over, but it's not that bright yet. It's still pretty dark out. So my mom brought those flower arrangements home and she stuck them in that closet. And then every time I opened that closet, it reminded me of my grandma's funeral. And they were in there forever. And then finally one day I was like, Mom, I hate the smell of that closet. And she like threw them out. But she kept them in there forever. And I can remember what they smelled like. And they so reminded me of that, not just the funeral, but that period of time of like going over. I can remember when finding out that my grandma died, and my stepmom, I think, was who told me. I'm almost positive of that. We'd come back from like a skiing trip, or Chicago. I think it was a skiing trip though, but maybe Chicago, I don't know. And then my dad took me over to my aunt's house, where my mom and my aunt sat on this couch while all these people were like bringing food around and moving stuff around. Do you know what's so weird, like in retrospect when I think about that, was like there were so many people at my grandma's funeral. I mean, there were more people at my grandma's funeral than there were at my mom's. And my grandma wasn't like a socialite or anything in Indianapolis. I mean, the only reason people were there were mostly because of my mom and my aunt. But I can remember all these people being at my aunt's house. And my mom and my aunt were just absolutely obliterated, intoxicated, which my grandma would have hated, by the way. Because she was a teetotaler, she never drank, she hated drinking. I think in retrospect, my grandfather, my mom's dad, was probably an alcoholic. Caroline and I found out that he had been a bartender at, if you live in Indianapolis, you ever go to Fountain Square, my grandfather was a bartender at the original Thunderbird. It's like this famous bar in Fountain Square. Oh, Caroline actually contacted the owner and told him that because she was like she didn't contact him, but she was down there one night and having like dinner and drinks with some girlfriends, and they went to the Thunderbird, and she just asked, she was like, is the owner here? And the owner, I think, is sober and does like mocktails on his menu or something like that. The whole thing about it is all so weird to me, like the connections of people. Like when you start talking to people, like the connections, you know, the serendipity between people is so strange sometimes. But so Caroline was telling him that I had found his liquor license in his wallet that my mom had, and it said at the time that he was like got his liquor license, which my mom was born in 43. and he died when she was 4 or 5, so it would have been 47 or 48. At that time, he was a bartender at the Thunderbird in Fountain Square. Just so weird, isn't it? So anyway, yeah, pretty cool. The original bar that originally existed. I mean, it hasn't been open all this time. But anyway, I have a feeling, I've always had a feeling about a couple things. I've had a feeling that he was an epileptic, and that's where I got it from, but I don't know that for sure. I don't know why I thought that. I just kind of had a gut feeling about that through the years, which is kind of strange. The other thing is, I have a feeling he was a pretty hardcore alcoholic. I mean, not that bartenders are, because that's not necessarily always true, but I do know my fair share of alcoholics in recovery that were bartenders. And so I don't think it's a huge reach. And my grandma had some reason to hate drinking, so I think that's it. I don't know. I'll never know now. He was supposedly a great tennis player, and he was #1 in the state of Indiana in high school. So there is that. All right, you guys, I'm going to get off here because the battery is actually flashing at me, and when it starts doing that and it's gone this long, it's gone over an hour, it means I literally have like less than a minute before it dies. So I'm going to make this real quick tonight. I actually vlogged longer than I thought I would. Look at this cemetery right here. I know I'm trying to get off here, but I have to show you this cemetery. Look at that in the morning light, in the snow. Gravestones in the snow. Sounds like a poem by Peter Monn. Peter Monn. Anyway, okay, I gotta get off here or it's gonna die on me. If nobody else has told you this today, I love you. You can start your day over whenever you want. If nobody else has told you this today, I love you. You can start your day over whenever you want. Practice random acts of kindness. And most importantly, make sure that you reach out to somebody and let them know how much they mean to you. And you can text them, call them, you know, show up at their door, take them a casserole or a loaf of bread, and, or Zoom them. So anyway, Zoom them or a FaceTime call them or play words with friends with them, you know, or take them a present, anything. Anyway, I love you guys, and I hope that you are having a magically amazing Sunday. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya. And because I like to push it and push it real good and see how much battery I actually have, for those that happen to stick around, for those that want to hear it, for those that need to hear it, and for those that just happen to stick around, one more I love you, one more I love you. I sound like a country singer. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya. Happy birthday, Lena.